Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy?
What's up, people? It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Mayhem. He's driving. I'm calling Don Fry to remind him that there's a show. Yo, I got a voicemail. All right, Sean's supposed to come in. Bill's coming. We got Parker Porter, who they call him the GOAT. He's the heavyweight that just did bare knuckle boxing, got his first win. I happen to love that guy. And I'm here with Mayhem Miller, who's driving
They're
back.
not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us.
Yeah, what did you think of the halftime show?
It was awesome. I mean, look, if I was a racist old white man, I would be pissed. I'd be like, these jigaboos dancing around, all these sons of bitches. But, I ain't. So I thought the shit was badass. I love Kendrick Lamar. Shit, I thought the I thought the break-in was fun. I thought him teasing that his hit song that took over the damn entire year, that was nice. It was a very American, and I like that red, white, and blue. Everything about it. It was good art direction. I don't know. I wish I could bag on it because it would be more funny, but I thought it was dope. What about you?
I thought it was fine. The thing is that, I think we're just so used to like Prince, or like collaborations of like 10 people that come out, or the Rolling Stones. So like when it's like the expectations are just so high.
Yeah.
And everyone,
but it's one guy who is a Pulitzer Prize winning rap, poet.
Right. Yeah.
And he has a lot of good songs. So, it was like one of those things where they were giving him the respect that he deserves, sort of,
Right. I didn't hate it.
He's not a pop act. I get it. It wasn't for everybody. It was for, hey, do you like rap, or do have you been paying attention for the last year? Because that's where the culture is right now. Kendrick Lamar took over the radio, took over, hip hop in general. So they gave him his flowers that day.
Right. I just, what it was is that they play the song so much on every commercial break, like every game. So it was almost like they made me hate the song, because you hear it so much. And then you're like, okay, just play the song. I knew his other songs. I knew some of them. But I don't know. I think that I usually like it better when it's like a collaboration, when it's like 6 different people and everyone just.
I agree. I usually like when they announce that it's one person and then 6 people show up.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I kept waiting for someone else to show up,
all him,
and then nobody did.
He carried it. He carried it on his own. He's a top quality performer.
Yeah. The crazy part is that like Drake started this whole beef. Like Drake, it's like you gotta, and he was winning for a second, and then all of a sudden it was just like,
I know. Yeah, he got eviscerated. Like, it's hard because like if I'm Drake, he was on top of the charts for a million years, being like the best pop artist of all time. Then he started in the last like 5 years, he started like becoming gangster, like, ooh, I'm gangster, I'm so thug. And it's like, are you? No. Aren't you on the Disney Channel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? How are you trying to change your whole
But he won. He won against Meek Mill. The problem was he won against Meek Mill. And I think that gave him like this confidence of like, I can beat anybody. If I could beat Meek Mill and he's supposed to be this great battle rapper, then I can beat anybody. And it's like, you got to be careful. When you pick fights, you really have to know who you're picking fights with, or you have to be willing to do it.
And we don't even understand like the music industry because those guys are on the same label. Wow. So that's the funny part. You know what I mean? It's like the label won. really. Like, it didn't matter who won because the label was going to win either way. So they just spec'd in, and that's what Drake is suing them about because they realized, oh, Kendrick Lamar is the new hot thing. So they just poured all their money that they usually spend on Drake, buying Drake's plays on the radio, buying Drake more Spotify suggestions. Like, usually they spend the money on that, but they said, nah, Kendrick's got legs. He's the new guy. Let's spend all our money buying off the radio stations for Kendrick. And Drake is pissed about it because, like, hey, you guys used to do that for me. What happened?
But they also had his ex-girlfriend, Serena Williams, out there. That's some real. That's petty. That's pretty. That's
throwing shade.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, well, par for the course. You know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, you got to make a villain to create a hero. So Drake, you know, to me, Drake was always like a jokey sort of, you know, party music, you know, and then Kendrick comes out and is like a sick poet, like a wordsmith, like an actual, you know, like next level rhyme schemes. He's new. Like, he's not, if you listen to his record, it's not the same. It's not like poppy regular music. Now it is because everybody's adapted to that. But I like that this MMA Roasted podcast opens with nothing but hip hop for the first 6 minutes.
Well, it's because you started singing "They Like Us." Like, it went from that.
Not like us.
That's
They're
exactly.
not like us.
I had a plan, outline of what I was going to talk about today, but then I was like, "Fuck it!" I actually want to. So anyway,
you're great at improvising, bro.
Appreciate it. Meanwhile, what I've been going through. To me, look, being married is not easy for anybody. Is it worth it? Yes. Am I happy I did it? Yes. Do I love my wife? Yes. But sometimes you're just like, you're fighting with your wife. You're like, is this worth half my shit? Like, what am I, and I go into like, you know, I could, dude, she said the other day, she's like, I'm going shopping, right? She spent like $250 on food. I'm like, great. And I noticed that there's like not the same food we usually get. So there is food she got, it's just in different places of what. So then she makes dinner, we're eating dinner, and she says, you know, I think ChatGPT did a pretty good job of picking the meal. And I go, what? She's like, yeah, I told ChatGPT what we like, and it went out and made a shopping list. And I'm like, well, I just think that no offense, Brie, I love you, you know, but I don't get mad about that. And usually as you say, don't get mad, they're gonna get mad. Or if you say disrespect, I just think you're better at picking the food than ChatGPT. Dude, well, you know, you're sitting here making the food that I made. I'm just saying, what did you get? And then she starts listing the shit. And then I'm like, okay, you actually did get. So then she's like, you know what? You could do the dishes yourself. I'm like, well, I could just have ChatGPT do it. Right. And then that was more.
Hey, wait until you get a Megan Fox robot from Subservience to do the dishes. Then she'll start cooking real good meals.
Well, then, dude, my wife is Christian. Every morning she has Alexa downstairs playing Christian music, right? Christian rock. So I wake up to the dog. These dogs are not trained, shitting everywhere. It's like a flood. And the thing is, I put the dog sometimes in the crate at night to try to train it, and she feels bad, so she lets it out, and it comes up, right? And with her. But so now I gotta go down. I go walk downstairs, and not only do I have to like step through fucking an obstacle course of dog shit and pee, but I got to hear this Christian rock, which is the worst genre of music. I don't know why, because supposedly it's about, you know, God, and I'm not even saying the message is bad. The message is fine. It's the way it's put together where and my wife said, well, I'm just trying to convert you. I'm like, what, to atheism? Like, because how is this so like my whole day is now ruined. I mean, it's not really ruined, but I'm like, I don't even know how to plug the Alexa. Well, you could just, I don't know how to tell Alexa to fucking, dude, she has this fucking Alexa plan. So that if my dog barks, right? If my dog's barking and we're not home, the fucking Alexa will play soothing music for it. Like, it picks up the bark and starts playing soothing music for the dog. Like, and I'm like, I need that.
Hey, bud, you know, you might want to think about converting to Christianity. I think Jesus' third miracle was he walked on dog piss.
Dude, I need Sean. So my wife like has fucking Alexa fucking programmed so if the dog's barking really loud, it'll play soothing music. And I'm like, they should play that for like when my wife's yelling at me, and then it just starts playing fucking music. I mean that would make my life.
Without telling her. Set
really,
it to do that without telling her. You'll get a great reaction, I bet.
oh, fucking great reaction, dude. She has Christian rock programmed every morning to start the day.
All right.
Is there a worse genre of music? Like, I mean, is it? I'm like, well, at least play some Creed. And I never thought that would actually come out of my fucking mouth. Is just at least play some Creed? Like,
you guys remember the old days? You're all about my age. So you remember the old days when all someone had to do was mention God in a song, and everybody was like, "Oh, do you know Bone Thugs and Harmony are Christians because they said God in one of their songs?"
I don't remember.
That was a '90s thing.
I don't. And so then also I got this job with Gutfeld, as a freelance writer. So every night I get the topics, so I'm writing about 50 jokes a night, 30 to 50 jokes about, and they'll just give you the article and which is, look, I'm laughing to myself, but then I usually get like 4 in the monologue, but then I got to wake up at, 6 in the morning because they're on New York time and then go over, hey, we need a joke for this, need a joke for that. We got to fix this monologue here, fix this, that. And meanwhile, I'm trying to take my kid to Christian school, coming home while thinking of jokes. And it's like coming in with like 10 jokes here, which is great, but it's like I did Gutfeld last Thursday and, I get the topics at like noon. I go on the show and, normally they have like a comedian and, Vivek Ramaswamy or Kayleigh McEnany or some, politician. But my job is to be funny. And then people are like, why are you looking at your notes? I'm like, because I wrote the jokes fucking 3 hours ago. Like literally, right. I got 6 articles about each topic. And they're like, well, you look down. I'm like, if I just gave shoot from the hip, I could give you a topic. It wouldn't be funny. I don't think I'm the guy that you want to. I mean, they have people that are politicians, but then I start reading the fucking comments, of course, on the internet, and then that puts me in a fucking bad place, dark place, So
I can solve that problem for you. Just homeschool your girl and play Christian rock all day. It's the same difference as a Christian school, right? So, I don't know.
Dude, seriously. But that's been anyway, so that's been I don't know. I gotta start seeing a therapist again. I had a therapist, but I told my wife I thought she was attractive, and then I couldn't see my therapist anymore. So that was
I'm pretty sure you said she was
hot. Yes, I maybe anyway. And then I did a show in New York, right? I did a joke about the homeless, and some lady in the crowd's like, they're called unhoused. I'm like, really, dude? Like, this is like, this is what we're doing right now.
Not in New York. They're not. They're called luxury apartment and hotel patrons in New York, I heard.
Dude, you're not kidding, dude. So then I'm like, literally, 40 hours a week, writing jokes, working on the Gutfelds joke, working on my jokes, do the Comedy Cellar. It's, I take a 5 o'clock in the morning flight back to New York, and I can't sleep because I need ambient times to sleep, but I don't want to sleep on the plane because I have to punch up the jokes and get the monologue while I'm on it. I get off the plane, I got like an hour of sleep, and then I got to go coach this wrestling team. We have our like big tournament, right? And these kids have been wrestling for 3 weeks against kids that have because their house burned down. A lot of their houses, like literally one kid, I'm like, where are your wrestling shoes? They burned down in the fire. Like this is what's, So then this one kid who I like, good athlete, but he's like nervous because his ex-girlfriend is watching the match. She goes to that school at Harbor Westlake, and he's wrestling a really good kid. So she's recording it. It's his ex-girlfriend. So I stand in front of her camera, like that way she won't be able to record him losing. Like that was a pretty good move, right?
That's a coach that goes above and beyond for his athletes.
Yeah, that's a great coach right there.
So what have you been up to, Sean?
Dude, I think I caught like literally the bird flu. I've been sick for 2 weeks, like running a fever, like body aches, everything. I still won't use a blanket because like that's for pussies, which probably doesn't help when I sleep all night shivering. But yeah, no, I don't know. I almost never get sick, but when I do it right. I'll tell you what, like it, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday from Seattle. Doesn't matter, he's from Seattle, but I was telling him my symptoms. He's like, dude, you probably like the bird flu. You know, a bunch of people have that now, right? And you know how if you look on the internet, you have anything. If they say AIDS, you have it. Like if you look at the symptoms. Because they named 60 symptoms off. So, yeah, I've convinced myself I've got that. Still won't wear a mask or take a vaccination, though. So,
and Mayhem, how are you?
Oh, I'm still gay.
Perfect. All right. Well, oh yeah. Oh, another kid goes out, right? I love this kid, but he goes out and gets like beat pretty quick. And then the kid's just shooting singles on him all day long. And I was like, how come you sprawl? You didn't sprawl. He goes, Coach, you taught me how to sprawl, but you didn't tell me when to sprawl. I'm like, I didn't really think that was, I mean, I go, when the guy's shooting on you is when you sprawl. I mean, was that something I should have went over? Like, I'm pretty sure that was.
He could really throw the guy off by sprawling while he shoots.
Yeah, seriously.
As he goes to shoot, sprawl real quick and then jump back up and take another shot.
Oh God, it was it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, did you guys watch the UFC fights?
Yeah.
Sean, no.
How about Wei Lee is the best of the best, bro. Let's just fucking get that out of the way real quick. Because I don't know, they gassed us up with the propaganda machine to think that old Tatiana Suarez was some kind of autistic genius at grappling. Meanwhile, she couldn't get a takedown after the first round. What the hell?
All right.
All of a sudden, Wei Lee turned it on.
Sean, I'll kind of break it down. So this girl, she fought Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana has never lost a round in MMA. Won the Ultimate Fighter, undefeated, was a national champion wrestler in high school. Would have went to the Olympics or tried for the Olympics, but somehow got thyroid cancer, beat cancer. She's been injured, not injured, but she just bullies girls. Like that's her thing. It's like she gets the body lock and just pounds you, you know. And so they had her against Wei Li, who's the champion, the girl from China, and she won the first round.
Apparently tougher than cancer.
Dude, so she won.
She couldn't beat her.
She won the first round. She won the first round, Tatiana. She got her down and it held her down. And then completely kind of gassed. She went for 15 takedowns, couldn't complete one, and then was just getting tore up on the feet. What would you tell her?
I tried watching that fight, but I only like seeing women get hit from a first-person point of view.
Thank you, Sean, for making me edit this fucking podcast. It's like you come on the podcast, you don't show up for 2 weeks. I don't know where you are. You don't tell me you're not.
I know.
All I get is I'm sorry. Then you finally show up and you don't watch the fights or even know that there's a fight. But then go, hey, I'm gonna throw in my domestic violence joke to make Adam's fucking fucking.
I did watch the main event though.
Oh, thank you. Now, Jason, what would you tell? Because I mean, the girl obviously is a good wrestler. She's got good camps, good coaches around her. I don't know. Well, you think it was just nerves? Or...
Wait. Does she though? Because I got nothing out of her boyfriend that let me know he was watching the same fight as I was watching. And that dude looks too young to be very experienced coaching anybody. I mean, he looks like old enough to bang her and take over.
You know who her boyfriend is? You know who her boyfriend is?
Who?
Her boyfriend is Patchy Mix, who is like the Bellator champion, number 1 or 2 guy in the world. Really good fighter.
Okay, really good fighter, but her training camp did not look like she's going to take into account that Wei Li might be training how to sprawl. Like, what the hell? Like, she had one takedown she was trying to work, never worked, never changed it up, never, like, didn't have any boxing, nothing, like, didn't have any other, like, no plan B. They thought in their head, and I did denigrate the guy. Maybe he's not a bad coach, but I'm just saying, I was listening to him in between the rounds, and it was like, no, hey, this isn't working. Go to something else. None of that. It was okay. Do the same thing.
I mean, do you think?
And it never got off the ground.
Now, do you think maybe she was just discouraged and he was just trying to like not lie to her, but lift her up a little bit because he saw her she looked defeated after the first round. She looked tired. Her knee was sliced open. She fucked up her knee on the cage. Her knee was just like she was gushing blood. You think maybe her coach was
weird.
You think maybe her coach trying to trigger?
That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing is that, okay, I cannot believe that you get to a title fight and you don't have a backup plan.
Right.
It was the same thing. it's like spamming the same technique over and over again. Didn't work. Wei Li was like, she got a half takedown, and Wei Li just immediately reversed it and got on top and pounded her.
Yeah.
So there's no that I could tell that training camp was, and I made this mistake before where you have like a dominant thing that you can do to the other person, and then it doesn't work.
Right.
And you have to change. And instead of, okay, she trained her kicks. Nope. They look so slow.
Yeah. It looked like it looked, I wouldn't say it looked Ronda Rousey level striking, but it kind of, it was a little bit.
No, it's one of those things. No, it's one of those things that elite athletes of a specific sport, they have a problem because they, like if you're going to use the video game analogy, they spec all their points into grappling. And then they've spent no time in their life kickboxing. And so then when they have a fight against a very well-rounded opponent, the well-rounded opponent negates their grappling attack and turns into a striking match.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, the high body lock takedowns weren't working. So what else do we have? Why isn't it? She didn't shoot any double legs, no high doubles, no single legs. It was like nothing. And then she tried to kickbox her. And how are you going to do that? The girl has been kickboxing since she's been doing kung fu since she was 6. Yeah. That's just an advantage that you can't fix, you can't, there's an advantage that.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like she was like used to being the bully, that when she couldn't bully someone, she really had no and they were like, oh, she beats up guys at the gym, which I believe, but maybe they were like, maybe they had this false, sense of security. We're like, well, she's beating the shit out of guys at the gym, so what is she going to do to this girl? But maybe the girl's beating up guys at the gym too. So who knows?
I wouldn't look. I would wager the Wei Li would beat up some men in the room because she's just like, a well-rounded fighter that had learned all the techniques, like a super athlete. Like it's just somebody got to her early. She's got this language of fighting built down deep into her body from doing it since she was a kid. Look, I'll say this way, right? In my era, it was, the fact that I played soccer when I was a kid made my kicks better. It just did. I played hockey. It made my balance better. She's been doing martial arts since she was a little kid. It's something that you can't fake. You figure it out. And she just put it on her. I think the best thing about, and I don't know, you probably know, Adam, where's her training camp in America? Is she at Alpha Male or something?
She was Tatiana was there. She grew up in Riverside. And then she was
I'm talking about Wei Li. Wei Li came to America. Was she up there, AK? Where was she?
I know she did a lot of wrestling with Henry Cejudo in Arizona, but I think she was also in Vegas. I know that when she was training, she basically, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So because you could tell her wrestling improved from that fight, from the last fight. It got real. Like she tuned it up. She understood the assignment and handled Tatiana. And why did we all think that Tatiana was the second coming? It was because she did so good on Tough, huh?
That, but also she wrecked Carla Esparza. I mean, it was like 10-8, 10-8, 10-8. But and then she got hurt. She tore her ACL or something and then took a lot of time off. Before the injury, she was looking like a world beater. She really was.
Oh.
So
yeah, a big layoff will put a hiccup in your program. Yeah.
So Sean, you did.
I was just saying Tatiana's defense. In Tatiana's defense, historically, it's been Chinese women who have the most experience using Plan B. But anyway, I'm feeling that one for 5 minutes.
That's an amazing joke. Anyway, what are we talking about? Sean Strickland.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So Sean Strickland's man, he's one of the most frustrating fighters because either he'll throw kind of like Colby Covington, where one fight he'll throw 10,000 punches around and he looks like he's a cardio machine. And then he gets into this fight, and I'm like, is he just giving away the first round and the second round? It wasn't until he got like his nose broken that he actually was like, okay, now I have to fight. And that was the best thing that ever happened to him in that fight was the nose broken, because then he actually started fighting. I don't know what happened. Mayhem.
Dude. And the same thing always happens is that I think he can just whip everybody with this weird style where he puts his hands out and he has good reaction time. Bro, DDP did his homework. That's what happened. DDP did his homework. He realized this is what Sean's going to do because Sean always does this. And, he has a fair amount of success with most guys with it. DDP did his homework and realized, hey, if I bum rush like I have been, punch, kick, and then hop back before Sean can start brawling with me, I'll take this whole fight. And that's what he did. DDP did. Dreykus did his homework, bro, because he realized the ways to get in and rush Sean so that he can't just keep you away, tag him, and then escape, Oh, great. We got Bill Dawes on his bike.
But didn't it seem like he was in slow motion a little bit? Like he wasn't the same Sean Strickland that we usually see?
Buddy, I thought he was pretty similar. I just think Dreykus did his homework. Dude, DDP he did his striking a lot different than the first fight, because in the first fight, his footwork was not as bouncy. He did not get out. And that's why he took so much damage in that first fight, because he would get in, rush Sean, and then Sean would peg him with a jab on the way out, maybe, or after Dreykus was done punching. This time, Dreykus did punch, or he would start with the left kick and then go
Bill, I got a
rolling thunder.
So you show up half an hour later, and now I'm hearing like, whoa.
Oh shit! You hear the sound? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's so fucking annoying to have you show up on a bicycle, and then
I didn't know. I don't know.
All the sound gets drowned out.
So
all right, so
if I stop, it's fine.
Yes, it's fine. All right, so we got Parker Porter here, who's coming off a huge win in BKFC. Parker Porter, UFC veteran, heavyweight, won some big fights. Guy who's like great guy. You could tell he's not an athlete if you look at him. And then you're just like, wow, I can't believe this guy does so well with so little. I'm a huge fan, Parker. How does it feel to get your first win in BKFC?
Phenomenal, man. It was great. It's nothing better than knocking somebody down to the ground, and then they try to get back up and you put them right back down again in the same fashion.
And you beat Chase Gormley. You beat a good fighter.
Yeah, he's 1-0. He won his debut. I won my debut. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable with this too. It's a lot of fun, man. I think I might have to stick around for a little while and see what we can make happen with it.
Now, what's the difference between training for like bare knuckle and training for MMA?
There's so much less shit I got to worry about. I don't have to worry about getting kicked, kneed, or elbowed. I don't have to worry about getting taken down and wrestled or submitted. It's there's a lot less things to worry about from a defensive standpoint of view. But there's also a lot less ways for you to be successful. I've always been pretty well rounded in MMA. But to be able to just focus strictly on my boxing and my head movement and my footwork, it's like a whole new career for me, man. I'm really excited about it.
By the way, you're here with Mayhem Miller, as
What's
well
up, brother?
Sean McCorkle and Bill Dawes. This is they call him the GOAT. He happens to be a great guy. He's funny as shit. Great guy. And where are you based out of?
I'm in West Hartford, Connecticut. I got a gym in New Britain, so Central Connecticut area.
Nice. Now, was everyone at like your gym celebrating and going crazy?
Oh yeah, the entire arena. I've lived and grown up here. I've fought at Mohegan Sun a bunch of times before for MMA fights, and had guys of my own gym, fighting on that card there or fighting at that arena there. So it was like hometown welcoming. the entire arena erupted when I came out. It was the loudest
Nice.
welcome I've ever gotten anywhere.
Well, let's see it. Hold on.
No,
I got to talk to you about Game Time, okay? Game Time, NFL playoffs. One of the greatest things you could do is go to an NFL playoff game, okay? You get to go with other fans. You have fun. You take your family. Listen, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. Game Time filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value, okay? Makes it you can save time, and saving time is money. Time is valuable, all right? You pick an upcoming game, you browse through the ticket deals on Game Time Picks, and it's so easy. I do it all the time. I go to concerts on with Game Time. I go to NFL games. I go to WNBA games. Okay, you can go to MMA events. All right, they have curated deals that make it easier to find the best price to get great seats. They have the super deal, which is the best value for that event. You get the seat views, so you don't like stuck behind a goalpost or you're sitting in the parking lot, whatever it is. They have the lowest price guarantee, and they have event cancellation protection, job loss protection, etc. All right, go to Game Time Picks. All right, they make it easier for sports, concerts, comedy, theater. They have all-in pricing. You get the seat views, you get ticket coverage, and you get the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. What are you waiting for, people? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. That's right. Create an account, redeem your code CLNS for $20 off. All right. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I'm telling you, it's awesome. You're going to thank me later. Check it out right now.
I have a question. By the way.
One sec.
Yeah.
Let's watch this real quick.
In the center circle, working off the jab. There's that duck under. On the left. Every time from the center.
Nice.
Mayhem, any questions for the great Parker Porter?
Look here, man. Like, how much you clinch fighting and how you train to get proper, the feel for the no gloves? Like how, that's my big question is, I know you're going to spar with probably 16s on when you're going real hard, but how about these like little clinch exchanges? How do you work that?
So the little clinch exchanges, just like MMA clinch training, in MMA training, I'm working with the 8-ounce MMA gloves, something little tiny. Obviously, we, scale the intensity back a little bit. I'm not trying to clobber everybody, and they're not trying to clobber me. We're not trying to have our best fights be in the gym. But same kind of concept with any kind of MMA training. Little gloves, a little bit more control. Same kind of work with the clinch. It's a little bit different from a traditional MMA clinch or a Muay Thai clinch because there's no elbows involved. If you grab on to the head with two hands, the referee will stop it and break it up. So it's really only one hand working at a time. And it's a little bit different because when you take the elbows away from the clinch, the only real way to generate good power is to actually create space or slip good tight uppercuts in there. So the clinch isn't as easy to be dominant in because it's a lot more 50-50 than in any other situation.
So I'm looking at
See, Adam, what the hell are you talking about, bro? You're talking like this guy who's some kind of dope or something. You gave him the worst intro ever.
I was doing it to fuck. I was doing it to fuck with him. I was doing that.
You play the clip. You play the clip, and the guy is a monster ducking under the damn punch and sending the guy to the canvas.
Oh, he told me. He asked me to roast him.
To come back on or what?
Look at that. First of all, look at the guys he's fought. He fought John Jones in his third fight in 2008.
Whoa.
Well, did your manager say this might not be the best idea?
I didn't have a manager at the time. We're talking, this is what, back in 2008, my manager was my coach, and my coach, nobody knew anything about the guy. YouTube was still like a new thing back then. So we didn't have tons of video or, the sport and the information out there wasn't what it is today. You could have one or two fights in some no-name podunk town and on the other side of the world. Somebody's going to have some footage of it somewhere. Back then you could have fought. I could have been at the fight and still not seen the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, don't get me started on Mark Lehman. Hey, you're gonna fight some guy, Georgie Saint something or another. I'm like, oh yeah, fine. I got this. I'll do it on 2 weeks. I just got out of jail.
Yeah. He has a French name. Oh, I can take him.
French name. What a sissy. This guy's not gonna be the greatest of all time.
But then for your 8th fight, you fought Gabriel Gonzaga.
Good Lord.
Did you get a little bit of better management there that said this guy's a little good, or did anyone anything about him?
Yeah, we were a bit more prepared for that. By that time, everybody knew who Gabriel Gonzaga was. He had already fought for title contention against Randy Couture, so we had a little bit more homework. We did a lot better in that fight, even though we still lost. That was a substantially better showing than the John Jones fight. Then
you beat Josh Parisian, you beat Chase Sherman, you beat Alan Badat. So you went on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC at heavyweight.
Yep.
Did you think maybe I got a shot at the title here, like a couple more fights?
I wasn't sure if I'd have a shot at the title, but I had my eyes on getting ranked first. I was being realistic about, all right, here's the first step, get ranked. Get a number next to my name, and then climb the rankings, and then look for that title shot.
Right. Now, on a scale of 10 to 1,000, how scared of Sean McCurkle were you?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified.
Nobody wanted to take the beating before the fight for me. They didn't want to take the beating online. Nobody cared about me in the cage, but no one wanted me trash talking to them.
Right.
Yeah, nobody wanted to catch that smoke.
And then they offered you that 7'3" guy, right? And you said you didn't want to fight him on.
What was it? Robelis Despain. Yeah.
But looking back, you probably would have beaten him.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020, man. But at the time, with everything I had going on, we were just like, I don't know if that's the world's best fight to take right now. So I said no for the first time in my life, and I'll probably never do that again because it cost me my contract with the UFC.
That's crazy. Yeah, so
who was a 7'3" guy?
Who was it?
Yeah, he's like, he's not 7'3". He's tall. He's like 6'8", 6'9", or something like that. And he's got a reach that's like 89 inches or some shit like that. He was the Cuban Olympic Taekwondo medalist.
Yeah, and they wanted on 1 week notice. And he said no, and then they cut him. And I'm like, this is bullshit. You fought 8 guys in the UFC. I mean, you're allowed to say no to a guy that you think might be a bad matchup.
You're really not, though. Not in the UFC.
Yeah, apparently not.
What are you talking about, Adam? What fantasy land do you live in, bro?
Dude,
you still think Dana's going to give you a job, huh? You still think you're going to get hired by a play-by-play or something? Because, bro, listen. No. Yeah, it's trash. That's trash, bro. You gotta cut this guy after one. I don't want to fight a guy on a week's notice. Well, you're gone. That's bullshit, man.
That is crazy. But look at you now. You're in BKFC. How was the pay decent?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's not UFC, but they haven't been around as long as the UFC has been yet. So they just don't have the establishment, but they took really good care of me, man. The pay was good. I'm not disappointed with it. And everybody on the staff was super easy to work with, attentive. We're professional. I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Are the rules with BKFC, are they the same as regular boxing rules, except with the one-handed clinch?
Pretty much, yeah. You still have the same knockdown rules. There's still a standing 10 count, but there's no 3 knockdown rule. If you get back up every time, then you get back up every time. And it's obviously shorter rounds. There's only 5 rounds, and they're only 2 minutes apiece.
And then
it's a lot more action packed.
And then how many kids you got?
3.
You have 3. Did your kids watch the fight?
3. No, afterwards. They were really, my twins. I wasn't going to bring my 4-year-old over there. That's a little bit much. And my twins are 11, and they're like, "Can we come? Can we come?" I was like, "Not for this, dude."
Boys, all boys.
All boys. Yeah, it's a 3-ring circus over here, man. Absolute chaos. God bless my wife. But yeah, with the twins, they're like, I want to go. I'm like, listen, any other MMA fight or something else like that, I'd be more than happy to have you there in the crowd. Maybe even try and get you up in the ring, win, lose, or draw. But this is bare knuckle. All it takes is one good jab, and you can split my whole face wide open. And you don't need to see your dad being like that right now.
When your kids seeing too much gore
Yeah, especially. I mean, it's one thing if it's somebody else, but their own father, that's even more traumatic.
Of course. Now is Ben Rothwell the champion now?
He is. Yeah.
So are
That's
you
a good
calling
fight? Oh, that's a good fight for you, think, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Call him out on Twitter. Have Sean help you.
Have you been called out?
Yeah. No, I've never called anybody out my whole life, man. I've been doing this a long time. I've just never been that way. But you know, I'm looking to go after that belt. So whoever's next, you know, they got their top 5 ranked guys. I wouldn't mind getting one of them in there. You know, and I wouldn't mind getting 1 or 2 more fights before a title fight just to get a little more experience, you know. I'm not disappointed with the fact that I won in 44 seconds, but having a little more ring time, maybe going in 2 or 3 rounds and actually feeling the impact of the swelling on the hands and stuff would be a little more helpful.
Do you think it's more beneficial to train in boxing or MMA for BKFC?
I would, it's kind of both because, you know, like obviously it's boxing, it's bare knuckle boxing. So the footwork, the head movement, the punching technique, really being able to sit down on your punches in a way that you wouldn't normally be able to do that in MMA is going to be tremendous. But having that clinch game is totally different. You know, in boxing, you wrap your hand, you know, you wrap each other up and the ref breaks it. Boxing, you wrap it up, break it. So I would say having some kind of like Muay Thai or kickboxing clinch training involved in your boxing training would be like the perfect mix.
I imagine it's Greco-Roman wrestling, sort of. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You got to look into some Greco guys for your next camp, you know? I really feel like that's similar. The old dirty boxing that Randy did, you know? It's one of those things where, you know, that you hook on it. I know I'm coaching my guys to get this, you know, from a clinch, from an over-under, you know, going up to the top to his head and pulling him off balance for a good.
Right. Peeling him off backwards. Yeah.
I saw you in that clip that we just showed. You had like a clinch. He went to punch. You rolled under and came up with like 3-2-3. You know, it's like money stuff, bro. I'm really, you need to be calling out for that title fight, dog.
Honestly, he's the nicest, most humble guy. But that's why he has like a following. People are always like, he's the GOAT. He's like the everyman's fighter. I look up to you so much, Parker. Now, Sean, anything questions for the great Parker Porter?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I was going to say earlier, one way it's different from boxing is like Oscar De La Hoya is coked out all the time in boxing, and having your promoter coked out has got to be different than not having it. But then I realized that Conor McGregor co-promotes, so it's the same either way.
There you go.
Just how high have you seen Conor McGregor is my question.
Sorry?
Just how high have you seen him, or have you not seen Conor McGregor?
I haven't seen him yet. He wasn't at the event, so I didn't get a chance to see him. So I can't.
He was probably in the bathroom.
Give you a scale of, you know, like you know, lame to, you know, extreme or anything like that right now. But I will be happy to give that scale to you when I do see him.
And Parker, are you still married or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said your wife. I was gonna say because it seems like the girls around BKFC are like the girls that used to go to the old UFC fights, where it's like they're like all tatted up and big fake titties and like they just, some of them are strippers or may or may not be. Like, is that?
Did you just insinuate his wife is the stripper?
No, not his wife.
An ex stripper. Come on.
But doesn't it seem?
My wife is actually a school teacher. The irony is that I bounced at a gentleman's club for like 7 years prior to getting into the UFC. So I've seen every aspect of it, you know, inside and out. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
But doesn't it seem like it has that BKFC feel? It has that sort of dirty, but like hot chick with like girls with just tattoos.
Right. Like I'm not supposed to be okay with this, but I kind of like it kind of deal.
Like the kids, like there's like a daycare center outside for all the single moms, and it just sort of doesn't it? I mean, I'm not against it. It just it does seem like there's a lot of Buffalo Wild Wing girls or girls.
I get you. Well, I mean, if you look back at like the UFC when it was like back in like, you know, early 2000s, it's kind of in the same point. You know, it's in those kind of incipient stages. BKFC is where it is now, is where the UFC was back in like 2000, where it was a little more, you know, shit showy.
Yeah. Now, were you at the Eddie Alvarez press conference when that guy, was it Joe Pfeiffer, got up and started going off on it was on
No, that was for the Philly card the weekend before.
Oh, that was for the Philly card. Got it.
I would have liked to have been there though. That would have been entertaining.
Now I have one more question. When I grew up watching like Muay Thai fighter movies, they're always like kicking trees with their shins to build up scar tissue.
Yep.
Do you do that with your knuckles? Like, is there any advantage to like punching trees and building up scar tissue in your knuckles?
There is zero advantage to punching or kicking a tree in any way, shape, or form. However, I am like, lightly after a good workout, I'll do my pad work with no gloves on. I'll do some bag work with no gloves on. Or, like after the end of a conditioning session, I have a sandbag and I just kind of like lightly smacking it around from different angles and stuff just to do the same kind of conditioning that you would do to your shins as a kickboxer or a Muay Thai fighter to, little awkward angles, desensitize the skin and the knuckles and strengthen the bones, make those little micro fractures that heal up nice and strong.
Guy's a fucking scientist.
He's a scientist.
I love it. Micro fractures. I like it.
Yeah. Well, listen, congratulations. Now, what were you going to do after you left the UFC? Were you planning on doing something else in your career? Or?
I wasn't even sure what I was going to do, man. All I knew was at the time I'm still doing general contracting during the day, so I'm swinging a hammer and running a saw and refinishing bathrooms and remodeling people's houses and stuff during the day. But I have a gym in New Britain that I'm slowly and gradually building, getting more members. And the game plan, the dream would be to have that at a point where I could do that full time and work on training the next generation of guys.
Well, do you want to bring Mayhem or Don Fry to your gym? Because they're doing
absolutely. I want both of them. Both of them.
Serious. They did a seminar at Sean's gym. Very successful. So yes.
Well, I can't afford them yet, but if they're willing to come out,
they work cheap.
I got a spare bedroom in my house. I'll feed you. I'll put you up, and then we'll have some fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Well, thank you, Parker. Good luck in your next fight, and always good seeing you, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Take care.
Yeah, this guy's great.
That was Parker.
Why do I feel like fighters are always better people than us? Maybe I'm just talking to you, me and you, Adam. But fighters, other than the ones on this podcast, I always feel like they're the most adjusted, happy people.
Well, I don't understand.
Me, Don, and Mayhem will even that out for you.
You guys have to fight John Jones in your third fight. Like, I mean, the luck of fighting like the greatest fighter of all time. Like, GSP. But I feel like you were better than he was when he fought John Jones. I feel like he got a later start, and I don't know when you fought GSP, you still fought in Pride, right? Before that,
I hadn't yet. No, I hadn't yet. I was just like a little kid still, bud.
Yeah,
he was before Robbie Lawler.
Yes.
Wow, I always think it was after.
No.
Wow.
I know, crazy. I was fought early in I was like UFC 52. And then later on, I came back like at 100 something. So it was like one of those things, man. Hey, I got to run. God bless you guys. I really appreciate MMA Roasted, man. You guys are the best.
We love you, man. Take care.
See you, Mayhem.
So, Bill, how are you feeling as far as the girl and you being single again and the ex?
Well, let me ask you a question, Adam. Have you ever been on stage making jokes about your personal life and all of a sudden get teary-eyed? Probably not.
No, I have.
It happened to me this weekend. Yeah, it has happened.
Well, when my stepmom died and I talked about it.
Oh yeah,
that was like, that was pretty rough.
Yeah. It comes in waves like everything else. There's some days where I'm like,
that's someone died, not like it's looking ex dumped me or something like a little bit. What happened? So you were talking about the girl you converted for, and you started crying.
No, I just started crying, but I was making jokes about it on stage this weekend, and all of a sudden, it just like everything got quiet, and I just felt like, oh man, I'm gonna die alone. It's just this weird sadness of like, I will never meet another person.
First of all, we're all gonna die alone.
Can I tell you something? My friend who works in the ER, she said everyone who dies, they usually die between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. when all the family leaves. And they're like, finally, some fucking peace, and then they die.
You're the only one dying.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to die with other people. So you're
unless you get in a beautiful car wreck or a plane crash, then you could die with your partner. Yes.
Right.
I agree.
Or murder-suicide.
Even then, you're alone for a few seconds.
Yes.
Right.
So you were crying on stage, thinking about it.
No,
did it help you get pussy afterwards? I feel like were girls like, oh, you're so, I'll cheer you up. Because I feel like even if you did do that, it would be so that maybe you would get more pussy after the crying.
Well, this is what I'll say. At my age,
Yeah.
Which is early to extremely late 40s, let's say, I feel like women will definitely like talk to me and flirt with me, but they're not at that age where they're just going to take you back and fuck you in the hotel room. Because usually I'm not having the 20s and the early 30s girls. I'm having women that are like divorced coming up to me.
Aren't those
and they're
ones
like
more likely to fuck you, the divorced ones? Because they're just
I don't know. I feel like times maybe it's just me, but I just feel like it's just not, the opportunities just aren't there anymore. And I don't know if I'm really looking for it either. I mean, I look pretty pathetic on stage when I talk about my life. So it's not like getting a lot of women wet in the crowd. I'll be completely honest.
Sean, would you like to join in?
Oh, I was just thinking, like, if you don't think a woman in her early to late 30s will fuck you, you've never been married to one. So, and gotten divorced. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll get you in court. They'll fuck you in court for sure.
It's like because Bill, I see a lot of your posts, and like I don't know, I'm just so jaded and cynical. But I'm watching this and I'm seeing you like break down and talk about your ex and like your like, revenge bod. But I can't think I'm how you're gonna get back in shape. But I also am thinking like he's doing this as a play to attract girls who are be like, hey, listen, I know you're going through a rough time. If you need anything, call me. And you're like, oh, you know what? I actually do come over. And then you guys have coffee and then you end up banging. Like, is there a play? No? Is there anything that like even subconsciously you're looking as a help me come over and we can get through this?
I wish I was that cool. I wish I was that scheming and cool. I think there were times where it was literally like, it's mostly for me. I mean, it sounds so cheesy when I'm like, I got fake boobs for me. I do feel like a lot of this is just for me to feel good about myself, to feel like I have worth, because I'm not getting, like, the last woman that really came on to me, she was 52, which is gross. And, the thing is, no, it's not gross, but she was really attractive, but I just can't.
You're so full. I've seen the girls you've been with. They're all hot. This is such bullshit. And some of them just like sit with you at shows. And then I'm like, are you banging? Oh, we used to bang a year ago. And I don't know, maybe. Or like, it's always some bizarre girl who's also in some weird part of her life phase.
Yes. I feel like those girls, like, remember, like girls, they'd go through they're like, oh, I used to be really slutty. I meet those girls right after that phase.
Yeah.
Oh, if we'd met 5 years ago, I'd be blowing you under the table right now. But now just take me to a steak dinner.
My wife, I'm like, first of all, I go, listen, if we get divorced, you're never going to meet someone like me. And she's like, that's the point.
I sure hope not.
And then I told her, if we get divorced, just so you know, I'm taking pictures with every hot girl I meet and tagging you in every one of them. Like, but yeah, I feel like Sean, you do kind of weird, sinister things like that to exes, no?
Yeah, not so much anymore because I haven't had an ex in a long time. But yeah, no, it's dude, I will tell you, Bill, not to get serious on you, but I'm gonna get serious. Like 6 months really seems to be the grieving, like,
I've heard that.
Stealing, like after 6 months, like I've had my heart broken repeatedly in my life, be it from someone stealing money from me or just like divorce with kids, stuff like that. After 6 months, it's like your brain refuses to feel sad anymore and you just accept it and move on. It's really, really strange, man. But somebody told me that when I got divorced, I didn't believe it. But after 6 months, it really did start to change, man. But it's a tough 6 months though, man. It drags on.
Yeah. You'll get over it, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't understand. You have so many. You're an actor. You're doing well. You're in shape. You're funny. If you're not getting laid, it's because of you. It's definitely you. I don't. Or maybe it's the defeating yourself beforehand or maybe it's different.
Yes.
There. I mean, maybe it's a different game. I don't know. I mean, it used to be with Tinder and Bumble and those dating apps. It was pretty easy, and then and then everyone started doing it, and it just became then just shitty, like it was too easy.
Yeah.
And then you're getting used for dates and like girls are using you for dinner and you're going out there and everyone became too accessible because you're like, oh, if I don't like you, I can just swipe. And the illusion of someone better is always actually better than what's actually in front of you. You're always
of course.
Happy. I'm only going to be happy you're here. I'm going to be happy you're there. And then when you have a kid with someone, then it really becomes fucked up because you're like, how much damage am I going to do to this child if I get divorced? So
of course
what I'm going through,
You know what my dad always told me, which was true. He always said your past relationship wasn't as great as you remember it. Like people have a tendency to only remember the good times once it's gone. But he's telling me all the time, it wasn't as great as you remember. You were miserable, or whatever. I remember how miserable you were. And then it's crazy when you think about it. And then when you get back with him sometime about a weekend, you're like, oh, this is why we broke up. I remember now. That's all I needed was a reminder.
And just know that like whoever you're gonna have your same issues, or I know I'm gonna have my same issues. So whoever I meet, it might be great in the first couple of weeks, but she's gonna be annoyed at the same shit that my wife's annoyed at me. Like it's not like I'm just gonna open up different problems. It's like it's like when you're with someone who's like too needy, and you're like, oh, I wish I was with someone that was more independent. And then you're with someone independent, and you're like, does this person have a fucking pulse? Does this person, I can't feel anything with this person. Does she even care? You're like, oh, I wish somebody who actually wanted me to fucking be with them. And it's always like, it's never,
Okay, here's one thing that I did kind of learn. I told you I went through her phone, right?
No.
Did I tell you that?
No.
And she was going through talk to her friends, like, he's too lazy. I need someone who's more at my level. He doesn't have enough drive. I'm not attracted to him anymore. I make more money than him in a week than he makes in a year. She was saying all this shit about me. And what I should have done is been like, hey, listen, we're done. Clearly you don't want to be with me, and leave. But instead I cried and I told her she hurt my feelings. And I feel like women will lose respect for you the minute you become a little bitch. And I feel what happened is I was becoming a little emotional, feminine bitch. And she really wanted a masculine guy to kind of like slap her around a bit. No, not slap her around, but actually like emotionally and mentally just kind of like take charge of shit. And I just...
They all do. Nobody wants a little bit. The only person who wants any girl who wants a little bitch must have really bad father issues, but the opposite way.
Yes.
Where the father was like didn't leave, but the father was a homosexual or something happened. Where not that there's anything wrong with being a homosexual, but I'm just saying like something happened.
Yes. At this point, any woman I'm with, something had happened to him.
Well, you're also in Hollywood. You are in your 50s. You're not late 40s. You're not that financially stable. So whatever. But fucking, who cares? Gives a fuck. What kind of podcast doing this? All right. So let's talk about the
relationship roasted.
Fucking Sean Strickland, right? So back to him losing, right? So Bilal Muhammad writes, I've been saying it forever. Sean sucks. He's trash. He talks a big game. He never walks. Even to the fans, hype him up like he's the best boxer, the best box defense. He's going to go to war. He's going to kill. I'd bleed, blah, blah, blah. And then he gets there, he jabs and teeps, and he fights like a scared little girl. He doesn't want to get hit. First of all, what is that? A lot of girls aren't scared. But anyway, even when you're down 4 rounds, he doesn't go all out.
Don't I know it?
He doesn't have it in him unless there's 5 seconds left in the fight. He's a coward, and he shows in his fights. Well, I don't agree with him being a coward. He's a scared little boy hiding in the body of a fighter. I don't agree with all that, but I do agree that the way he talks, you think it's going to be a fucking war. You're like, oh, shit. And some of the things he says, by the way, it's one of those guys, like Strickland's one of these guys that I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, oh, hell yeah. And then all of a sudden, last week in an interview, he goes, I'm about my boy Luigi. The guy that shot the United Healthcare, he goes, I'm a market capitalist. But the problem is these corporations, they've infected the government and it ain't right. Luigi, man, I'll go donate to your fund right now. I hope you get off. You did the right thing. At the end of the day, fuck that guy. We need some more Luigis in this world and the world will be a better place. No, it will not. You're going to go fund a fucking guy that shot somebody and fucking, a parent, like that was... The way it's all bad. Everything that guy did was fucking bad. And I can't get behind Strickland at all. And why are you saying that? People look up to you. You have a little bit of responsibility to other people when you're a public figure to be somewhat of a decent human being. And saying that we need more Luigis in this world. Some fucking moron is going to listen to you and probably go out there and shoot another unarmed man, CEO, whoever, and be like, yeah, for fucking Strickland. What are we doing? Yeah. Sean.
Did you say shoot a one-armed man like the fugitive?
No, I did not say that. But thank you for that.
I thought you said one-armed man. Oh, just say unarmed. Never mind.
Unarmed.
All right, I got you.
Yes.
I do think it's weird he called Sean Strickland a scared little boy like in a fighter's body, because Dominic Cruz is a gay little boy in a gay little boy's body. So
thank you for that incredible analysis.
No, I will say on Strickland, far be it for me to criticize someone on not putting out enough offense during a fight, but mine was always because I was too tired to fight. I don't understand these guys. He wasn't even breathing heavy in round 4. Like, he was completely rested and throwing nothing. I don't get it. You're there to fight. You're guaranteeing you lose by throwing one punch at a time. I've never understood it. I don't. I may go too much gambler. I would go for broke.
About the Luigi comment.
Oh, what about Luigi comments? Not to steal Chris Rock's line, but I'm not going to say the guy should have done it. But the guy had real bad back problems, and his insurance wouldn't pay for it. So I do understand. Like, I understand his frustration of wanting to go after the people who won't pay for
that guy doing anything. It's not that your back's not going to feel better when you're in jail getting this fucking shit fucked out of you. Okay, trust me, you didn't help. You didn't solve anything. I
don't know. It kind of makes me wonder if the next CEO might think about changing their policies a little bit.
Right.
Like I told you, Google robbed me for $30,000 in a month on advertising. And when I saw the Google CEO at like the inauguration, I was kind of hoping there might be another assassination attempt of some kind.
Thank you, Sean. All right. Frustrations. And I understand you do feel like, fuck, the decisions and if this guy had an opportunity to be, for now, I don't care. You can't go around shooting people. You can't go around shooting people, whatever, but his wife's life. Platforms and asking them fighting. Like, I would love, but why are we asking? How did we get to this? Bill,
you can say what, including that Hitler was a good. It wasn't even transsexual. Just it wasn't even transsexual. Just
a cross-dresser. A cross-dresser. I'm pretty.
She's like trans women. She's like trans women. Floyd was a drug addict, and now
it's ridiculous. It's absurd. I'm against all of it. I'm saying
stop.
Gotta be fucking careful. Gotta be fucking careful. But or my uncle or my, but with Sean's, I don't think he would feel that way.
like
no, and it's you know, it's just not. Especially if you want your sport. And if I go around saying I love Hitler on the internet, go around saying I love Hitler, say it, but doesn't mean to say it, but doesn't mean.
There's a documentary called Solo was like considered maybe the best goalkeeper a shot by Brazil. And he said, yeah, I thought
Yeah,
She
that's
got kicked
not
off.
right. That is
But that's how it was.
that's too far the other way. But I mean, US is selling schwa stickers on his website, right?
Shit.
With schwa stickers.
Like, how about a swastika on my way?
So if right, so are we gonna let you go? Well, he has an opportunity. All right, what if he wins? Yelling "Hail Hitler!" Yelling "Hail Hitler!" Is that really something I want to be a part of? People commenting on my fucking. Shut up.
That what was the guy?
Hammer?
No, there's
The shit out of him. That would be
right.
that is affect human rights. That is affect human rights.
That's what I'm saying. I want to go around saying white power. Well, it's freedom of speech. F whatever, it has the N word written ever. Point.
It's like it just seemed inappropriate. It just seemed inappropriate.
That's what everyone needs right now is like just be as racist as fuck as you want, and we're all gonna go
just a swastika.
But like,
what everyone needs is swastika merch. That's what they need.
Because that, I mean, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe that's what we need. We need more racism in the fucking world, and that's how I know how people feel. You know, that's I don't know. Bill, are you skiing right now? I think you're in the fucking Alps. Anyway, so then what else is going on this ISIS weekend that nobody fucking knows about? Nobody cares. What am I doing? Anyway, what do you got coming?
I will say that UFC 312 had at least 3 fighters I had ever heard of.
Dude,
the 2 main event guys and one of the co-main event fighters. So
yeah, it's.
I didn't recognize anyone else on the card, not a single person.
Yeah, dude, it's like you know.
Well, one thing I want to say about the
fights are
anti-Semitism
because they're watered down. Anyway,
hey,
what were you saying?
It's like everyone's like all these Trump people. Trump is he's Hitler. All of these MAGA people are Hitler. But Trump is like the most pro-Israel, pro-Jew president we've had probably like 50 years.
It's so you know, you say Hitler enough, and it just has no meaning. You know,
of course,
you call someone a racist, and you're like, okay, I know, I'm a Nazi. I get, you know, it's almost like offensive to the people who died at the hands of Nazis that you're calling somebody.
Of course, it is. Yeah,
a lot parking space a Nazi. You know, it's just like, okay, what are we? There's a time and place. However, when somebody like Kanye tweets out over the weekend, "Fuck Jews, I'm a Nazi, I love Hitler," and sells swastikas, I think, you know what? We could call him a Nazi. You know, that's...
Yeah, exactly. Also, his grammar was terrible. And here's a fun fact. Nazis were also grammar Nazis.
That's hilarious. So, that's really funny. That's a really good joke. That's a really, really good joke.
I guarantee if you look long enough through the comments, somebody said that. Well, obviously you're not a grammar Nazi or something like that. Internet comments are the funniest shit ever, man.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Dude, I know Jake Paul announced he's Jewish yesterday. So some like Hebrew guy put the thing on him, and you know, they put the. I'm not a good Jew, but they put something on him, and then it says, "Oh," and then Jake Paul's like, "I'm Jewish." The first comment is, "Fight Kanye," like right away. Yeah,
Kanye said he was Jewish at one point too.
He needs to get the living shit beaten out of him. He really needs to get the living shit beaten out of him because
he needs meds.
I don't, you know what? Everyone keeps saying they need. I know a lot of people that need meds. They don't all of a sudden have fucking Nazi Tourette's. You know, it's like we have to stop excusing this as he's off his meds. You know, a lot of people need meds. They don't just start tweeting, "I love Hitler." That doesn't come from anywhere.
Good point.
I mean, enough of this bullshit. You know, he needs to get the shit beaten out of him. The problem is that people never get the shit beaten out of them, and they feel like they can act this way.
I heard he was Auschwitzistic.
Hey now,
I made that joke. I made that joke.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought I just made it up.
No, I said he's a third Reichtard. After that, and that he's got Asperger's. I had a whole bunch of them. So Sean, what do you got coming up?
I guess more laying in bed with no blanket being sick. That's my plan for the next couple days. So,
Bill, what do you got?
Me laying in bed by myself, not getting laid.
That's on you. That's your schedule. Fucking bunch of fucking bed layers. You know, they tell me to surround yourself with people that you aspire to be like. They say you gotta. I listen to these self-help things. It goes people that are have a place where that they have goals. That first of all, I've been to Sean's house though. I do have those goals. I want 5 fucking ponds and 15 dogs. And 37 guns and tractors and 3 houses. I don't know how the fuck you did it. I'm waiting to watch your Netflix series about how McCorkle fucking did it, but it's insane. And you know,
the best was when my kids asked me at 14 and 15 years old, each like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm confused.
Dude, I've known you for
like even my daughter's husband's like, I still don't know what your dad does for a living. I can't figure it out. So
the funny part is that Bill has a helmet on, but he's not even on a bike. He's just walking around with a helmet. He actually did something he needs.
I'm a rectard.
Yes, you're third Reichtard. Anyway,
he looks like an extra on chips.
Go to AdamHunterComedy.com, see where I'm at. Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.